In the years when baby boomers were growing up, presidents had a certain look. Truman and Eisenhower may have seemed distinguished and experienced, but let's face it, they also looked old. Not anymore. As the baby boomer in chief approaches his birthday this week, he's in top shape, even if he does seem to be dreading the big 6-0 just a bit.
I know I'm not supposed to talk about myself, but in a month I'm turning 60. For you youngsters, I want to tell you something. When I was your age, I thought 60 was really old. It's all in your mind. It's not that old, really isn't.
But according to reliable sources, GQ magazine in this case, the president wears his age well.
He's in terrific shape for a guy his age, for any age really. I mean, he is probably our fittest president ever.
For dealing with nuclear proliferation. About 35% since I've been the president. Secondly, we've set up what's called the... Well, first of all, I agree with my opponent that the biggest threat facing this country is weapons of mass destruction in the hands of a terrorist network. And that's why we've put proliferation as one of the centerpieces of a multi-pronged strategy to make the country safer. A minute and a half is a hard task. I will try to do so. The core of crime in Texas is the juvenile justice problem. I think we ought to try 14-year-olds as adults, down to 14 years old as adults, to help our gang task force members fight crime. I know we need to expand the determinant sentencing statutes in the state of Texas. We need to have boot camps, reform schools, and detention centers. We should expand the Texas Youth Commission by 1,500 beds. We ought to unseal juvenile records so that teachers, educators, and law enforcement officials know full well who they're dealing with. We need to say to our children, we love you. But we understand in Texas that discipline and love go hand in hand.
A remarkable feat considering that during his 5 years in office, this president has dealt with 9/11, wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and a constant threat of terrorism. Not all presidents have worn their troubles quite so well. The nation saw Lyndon Johnson age tremendously during Vietnam. Watergate certainly took its toll on Richard Nixon, and the strain of dealing with the Iran hostage crisis showed clearly on Jimmy Carter. The president's predecessor, Bill Clinton, who turned 60 next month, aged visibly during his 2 terms. And of course, he's had open-heart surgery. As for Mr. Bush, well, he doesn't just look healthy. He's got the resting heart rate of an athlete at 47 to 52 beats per minute. His blood pressure is 110/64. His total cholesterol is 178. His doctors proclaimed him in excellent health and fit for duty, and he actually lost 8 pounds last year. Now, how many of us can say that? Still, family genes may also help. After all, Mr. Bush's own father, former President Bush, jumped out of an airplane to celebrate his 75th and then his 80th birthdays. This President Bush is going to skip the skydiving, and neither the White House nor family friends are sharing any details with how the president plans to mark the big day this Thursday. After all, it is one of those round number birthdays, 60. Maybe it's better to just get it over with. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, the White House.